Hello chess friends. So in this video we shall have a look at great chess traps in the one of the most ancient openings in chess, French defense. Now this opening has been there for centuries. It's been played for a long time. It's a very interesting opening idea. Basically, you give up the center, you let white capture the center, get the center, but at the same time you put a lot of pressure on the center because the center is not stable, and that's the essence of the French defense. So in this video, we shall be looking at three different French defense traps, and now these traps are very similar to each other, so very easy to remember. But let me just tell you, this thousands and thousands of players, not thousands, that's just an exaggeration. I think at least 100 players, more than 100 players have fallen for the same traps which I'm going to show you today. And of course, I'm talking about 2200, 2300, or 1800 level players. But if you're talking about club level amateur players, then I think every single day there's always someone who falls for these traps, because this is a very common trap. In fact, when I started chess, I myself fell for this one, and I've myself executed this one in order to win. So I've tried this from both sides and got some really interesting results. So yes, it's a super common trap, and let's dive into it. So white starts with pawn to e4, the king's pawn opening. You answer with e6. So this is a very interesting approach. First of all, when you put your pawn on e6, you are allowing, generally you play pawn to e5 or pawn to c5, the Sicilian or the king's pawn. In both cases, you don't make it easy for him to get the full control of the center with the pawn move d2 to d4. But when you play the French e6, you allow him to get the center only to strike it later on. So you let him have the center, but you put a lot of pressure on it through the entire game. White grabs the center. This is the best move in this position, of course, for white. If you are given a chance, you should obviously get the center. Now black plays pawn to d5, striking in the center. At the same time, now white is forced to make a decision. There are multiple decisions over here. If you take, this is the exchange variation of the French. Knight c3 is one of the most common moves, and of course nowadays I think a very popular move is e5. This is suddenly becoming very trendy nowadays. This is called as the advanced variation of the French, and basically white does not hesitate in order to get space. You can see white has a huge space on this side of the board. Let me just show you. There's White has an entire king side under his control. Our knight cannot develop to the f6 square comfortably, and you don't really want to put it here because then bishop can just swap it away, and that will ruin our king side position. So pushing the pawn has a lot of advantages, but of course there is a give and take in chess. Every single move has a drawback, and the French defense is basically revolving around the weaknesses of this move. What are the weaknesses of the center? It's very strong, that's true. At the same time, it can be attacked, and if it is broken down into different parts, the pawns will become weak, and that's what black does. He first attacks the pawn on d4 with the pawn move to c5. This is even better than directly developing the knight over here, because we'll see this also opens up the queen's path outside the pawn chain. This is the reason c5 is the most commonly played move here. In fact, the most commonly played move here, the correct move to play. Of course, if white captures, this is very good for black. Black just captures back. He gets his bishop on a very active diagonal. This pawn is now isolated. He's slightly weak. Of course, white can support him, but in that case, the bishop's diagonal will open up even furthermore. And that will not be good for white. So, of course, our simple moves are just knight c6, queen c7, knight e7, knight g6, putting a lot of pressure on this pawn. Basically, white is not doing okay over here. So going back, after the move pawn to c5, the most common move for white is to push with c3. So if we take, he's going to capture back. So black doesn't hurry up to capture. He just builds more and more pressure on this point with the move knight to c6. Now white defends, adds support to the pawn on d4. And again, black does not hurry up to capture, but rather plays queen to b6, simply putting a lot of pressure again on the center square. And now this is very uncomfortable for white. In fact, you can't really play something like bishop e3. You can't really defend the pawn anymore, because in that case the pawn on b2 is left hanging, and you can grab this, winning a lot of material over here. So going back, of course, the correct move, there are multiple moves over here. A3 is actually the most classical and common way to play, after which the positions are very interesting. White threatens to capture and push with b4. That's the threat, and that's why black will, in that case, after pawn move to a3, will play c4. Of course, we'll not go into that. That's a very theoretical approach. We're going to look at the move bishop to d3. Now, this is common move in all the three traps we're going to look at today, and this is a very interesting move. So, what's the point behind this? It seems that this move disrupts the connection between the queen and the pawn, and on the surface, it seems that black can actually win a pawn. And believe me or not, hundreds of players have fallen for this trap. So there you go. Pawn takes, pawn takes. Now this pawn is defended only by the knight, and that's how it seems on the surface. Of course, the pawn is defended by tactical measures, but of course, any beginner would simply capture it. Why not? White captures back, queen takes, and it seems like black has got a very healthy pawn, and this pawn is, because of the d4 pawn dropping off, the pawn on e5 is becoming very weak. This seems to be very good until you spot the move. Can you find it? It's white to play and win the game. This is when the trap activates and you need to play bishop to b5 check. That is basically a discovered attack on the queen. The bishop just moves away. So basically the pawn on d4 was defended tactically. The queen was tactically defending it, so it was still not capturable. It was poisoned. That's what we call as such pawns. They are poison pawns. So takes bishop b5 check. Let's say he plays bishop d7. Just capture and get the queen. We are a full queen up. White is in a totally dominating and winning position. Now the next two traps which you're going to see are very similar to this one, and we can take a lot of lessons from this one. Again, as I said, this is super common and hundreds of players have fallen for this trap. So let's jump on to our second trap. So here is the second trap in the same opening, the French defense. So there you go. It's the advanced variation again. e4, e6, d4, d5, and the pawn push to e5. A very good. Actually, this is really good. Don't fall for the trap. That's the only thing you need to take care. But otherwise, the advanced variation is very good. If you play it theoretically correct, of course. So pawn to c5, pawn to c3, supporting the center. Knight to c6, putting pressure on the center. Knight f3, defending the center. Queen to b6 is like a ballet. Basically, one attacks the center, the other defends with the exact number of pieces. Now bishop to d3, and now we know by experience, of course by bad experience and by losing games, that we should not really capture and get this free pawn. That pawn is defended tactically because of the threat of bishop to b5. But in that case, a very natural question comes to our mind, which must have come to the thousands of, not thousands, but hundreds of players who played this position and fall for this and fell for this particular trap. Why can't black simply castle, and after castling, isn't black's king safe, and then we can capture this pawn, because then bishop b5 is no longer a threat? Seems like a very logical idea. So this is exactly what black tries to do in this one. C takes d4, c takes d4, and now we do not capture on d4 because of our experience, our bad experiences in this position. So we first try to castle, and f6 is what we play. Basically, we ask him to capture. Of course, we would like to capture over here, and giving him, after he takes with the pawn, for example, his center is very little of his center is left, and that is not really good for white. So white generally captures over here. And after knight takes, basically again something give and take has happened. There are some weaknesses on the in the black's position. Of course, this e5 square is an outpost. The e6 pawn is a backward pawn. It's a weak pawn. The diagonal over here is slightly weak. But good thing is that black has finally got to develop his pieces, and he can also develop his bishop over here. Next, because there is no pawn on e5, so this has given black some freedom, of course at the cost of creating some weaknesses. Alright, white just castles, bishop to d6. Again, black is trying to castle as soon as possible. Knight to c3, castle. And now this is where the trap is being set. This is from the white side. What should white play over here in order to set the trap? In most of the time, most of the cases, white has played a very cunning move over here. Pawn to a3. And again, black thinks, like many of the players have fallen for this trap, they think that the pawn is free on d4. So they generally capture, takes. Because there is no longer the king on e8, bishop b5 check is no longer possible. Of course, they have missed something. Again, in the database, many people have fallen for this. The move is bishop takes on h7. It's a check to the king, and again the king is on a light square. It's a very unfortunate way of losing the game. despite having bad experience already in this particular position. King takes and queen takes queen, loses the queen, loses the material. White will easily win. Now that we have gained experience in this trap, let us try to find a way out of it. So let's jump on to a third trap, which is very instructive. I think more instructive than all of this, both of this together. Now that we have an experience about this trap, I think it is time to go to the third trap. So in the previous two examples, we saw that black is the one making mistake capturing on the d4 square, but it's not always black. In fact, white can also make a mistake by allowing him to always capture over there. So what do I mean? Let's have a look at this example, which will make it very clear. This is an awesome trap. Trap number 3, again based on a very similar idea. Pawn to e4, pawn to e6, d4, d5, and you push the pawn. That's the advanced variation of the French defense. c5, protect the center. Black attacks it, we protect it. Queen b6, bishop to d3. The pawn on d4 is tactically defended, as we already know. So of course he takes but does not recapture it again, does not capture back, and that's why black again plays a very sensible move, f6. Now most of the white players must be thinking this is the exact move that we have just seen, exact move order. In fact it is, but there is one difference in it which we are going to see. Of course white just captures, knight takes, castles, bishop to d6, knight to c3, bishop to d7. In the last position, we saw that black actually castled, and then after he castled, we played a3, a very cunning move. We allowed him to capture over here, and after knight takes, queen takes, we unleashed our bishop into h7 trap. So yes, this is what we did, but this time you will notice that he has played bishop to d7 in this position, which is pretty interesting. What is he intending to do over here? The b7, the a4 to e8 diagonal has been closed. There is no check over here, but white might think, in fact, in most of the games, white has thought that there is still a check from the g6 to e8, from the h5 to e8 diagonal, there is still a check. I can still give a check, which means that the pawn is still defended. And most of the players from white over here has played the move pawn to a3, allowing black to capture. Now, this is super interesting. Black takes, white takes, happily takes. Now white is thinking that we are going to win the queen on d4, aren't we? Bishop to g6, that's captured. We win the queen. But the problem is this is not the end of the variation. In fact, this time, look at the bishop, and that is the key to this position. Bishop takes pawn, king h1, bishop check. Not a double check. It's a discovered check. King moves, and you take the queen. Black is in fact a full piece up. So all the time the pawn on d4 is not really uncapturable. In certain positions like this one, it is capturable. White has to be very careful when to allow black to capture and when not to. So these are the three traps, very similar in nature, but again there are slight differences in all of them. And if you know the subtleties, you will really win a lot of points and you will win very fast in chess. So hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel. More videos are on the way.